Bizchicks TV. We're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. Here are your hosts.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bizchicks TV. This is the place for tips, tools, strategies, everything you need, like Brittany said, to take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. Today is Tuesday. That means the digital diva, Terry Johnson, online from New York City, is in the house. And today we're going to be talking about a really good subject. So make sure you get a pen, paper, tablet, however you take notes, take your notes, and let's take some action. All right, TJ, take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of marketing talk, marketing strategy, things that you need to know to help your business grow online, because we're all about taking the hassle out of your hustle because we want to make this easy. So we've been talking lately about AI things and how Google is different and SEO is different, and they are trying to figure out what to call it, and we're just going to call it search engine everywhere or something. What it is everybody's trying to figure out how to get their stuff in front of the right people. And guess what? They keep changing, they keep moving the cheese. They keep doing things. Even this morning, I woke up and I saw an email from I don't know if I mentioned it. There's a gentleman that started. It's one of the AI groups on Facebook. There's so many, but this one was huge. He had like 500,000 people in the group, and every day I went in there and there was somebody AI in this and AI in that, and they would put prompts and things, and a lot of lively discussion. But I checked my email today because I checked some of my email, and it said, "Oh, my Facebook group has been closed. Like Facebook took his group away. He doesn't have access. Like the group's not there on Facebook." And then he fortunately made another group on I don't know what the platform, school, one of these other places where you can have a community, but he did it last year within the Facebook group. He was like, "Oh, just in case something happened to this group, come over there." So then in his email, he was telling everybody, "Well, unfortunately, Facebook has turned off the lights. Let's go over there." So now all the discussion is happening in this new place that he had, and he's been pinning messages, and he said that two of his friends who had Facebook groups that were in the millions, like his is half 500K, his is 1 million. Their groups, they don't have access to them. So in this new community, which is the old group, they've all come over. A lot of people said today that Facebook was shutting down a lot of people's Facebook groups. Now, so they are trying to figure out what's going on with Facebook. That's what's happening today. But that kind of ties into what I want to talk today about, zero click. And let me explain the zero click, because my lovely assistant made me whole notes and everything. So I want to give you the definition. What is zero click marketing? It's a strategy focused on delivering full content value within platforms and without relying on clicks to external websites. Now, why is that important? Because Facebook, Meta, all of these places, LinkedIn, they don't like it when you put links to other places. You can do it, they don't like it. So for example, there's been widely known on Facebook that if you talk about something in your business, you can't put the link in the caption, you got to put it in the comments. Same thing with LinkedIn. There's a whole thing of you make a post and you say what you have to say, but you have to put the link in the comments, and you have to tell people, "Oh, the link is in the comments." It's because these platforms are penalizing you, and you, I mean business owners, because you want to drive people to your stuff, right? That's why we're here. They are slowly, and Meta is leading the charge with slowly saying, "We're going to turn that down. We're going to let you put a link in. But if you put that link into your website or YouTube or Pinterest, wherever you're driving the traffic, we're going to turn down the dial on you getting people to see that content that you posted." Now, is that fair? Well, they own the platform. They can do what they want. So that kind of ties in with the Facebook group. So now they're moving over to Facebook groups going, oh, wait a minute. There's a lot of activity in here. A lot of activity that's taking people out of Facebook. We don't like that. And then you have to put on top of this situation today is that AI is the moderator now. There's not really a lot of human moderators on with Meta. It's all AI. AI decides whether your post gets seen. AI decides whether your Facebook group lives or dies. And the rules, the reason why. So the owner of this group today, he doesn't know why, but he's talking, they're talking to the ad people, they're talking to this. He said he talked to somebody because you can talk to a live rep if you have an ad account and you run a certain amount of ads as far as money. You get to talk to a live person. But when he spoke to this person, they said, oh, I can't help because this is not ads related. I'll pass it on. So they passed it on and he's waiting. That was 4 hours ago. I'll check later and see. But see, this is what's happening with these platforms. They're like, we need to gatekeep. And I know gatekeep means another thing, but this is, we're putting a gate around and we don't want the people to leave. We're locking the doors. You're in the, you're in the place and we're like, okay, we're going to lock the doors or we're shutting the doors because we want you to stay in. We're not going to allow you to just come in and out. So this ties into what Google is doing, because Google is doing the same thing with SEO and the search results. We talked a little bit about it, that they have I think it's called AI overview or something. When you search in Google, you used to see a list of websites. Now you see what's called an AI summary put together by Google, and it's called AI overview. So they're giving you the information, so there's zero click. That's what it means. Like, there's no click over. If you're in Google, they're going to give it to you, but they're going to take your content because you're the web owner. You've made the content because you're thinking, oh, Google is going to show them to my house. No, Google is like, what you got inside of your house? Let me take a picture. Let me write it down, inventory. Okay, thank you. Because when somebody comes to Google and asks a question, they're going to say, hey, I got what you need right here. There's no need to go to that house. There's no need to go over there. Now, that's not good for business owners. It's not good at all. So there's a discussion going on about that. Again, when I go to LinkedIn, there's some people over there, SEO, lovely people that every time I go over there, there's something interesting. So I have a link from Spark Toro, which is software for audience retention, it's some technical, they got some long technical mission about, but really what they do is they take analytics and they allow you to have an account and then you can, use their tools and do what you need to do. But the owner of it, he puts out something called, hold on, let me bring it up. He puts out something called 5-minute whiteboard. Is that what it's called? Yes. 5-minute whiteboard. He does it every week. And it's content for the blog for Spark Toro. I'm going to put the link in. Let me put the link in. So he did an article, why do we need zero-click marketing? And he goes on and explains it all. But he's been talking about zero-click marketing for almost 2 years. He's been talking about it. Lonely guy, he's over here talking about something and nobody cares because everybody's social media. He's been back there in the back. And the thing is, he had another company before this called Moz. I think it was called Moz, M-O-Z. I thought he was the owner of that, but he wasn't because there was some things happening and he left. But he's been looking at rankings, website rankings, SEO things, helping small to medium business owners, companies, determine how to use the analytics and the data that's floating around in the air. And he pulls it up and says, here's a tool for you to figure out how to do your website ranking, how to do SEO, what's the best thing for your blog, what's the best thing. He does all of that. It's really hard to explain, but I've been following him for a while. So now he has a new company, Spark Toro. And let me see. Let me do a share. because I want to show you the article. So let's do share screen. Yeah, thank you. Let's got a couple of things to link. What is this? Okay, I got some things popping up. Hold on. Some settings that it wants me to do. All right, here we go. Now I got to use my password. Thank you, Apple Watch. Later. Okay. Now let's see if we can get this going. All right. Can we see that? Because it switched me over. I think you're muted, friend.
Why do we need zero click
Yeah.
marketing? It's there.
Okay, good. You can see it. Now
Mhm.
he does a whole, talking about it, but he's got a video here. I wanted to show the video real quick, just a few minutes. And I hope the audio comes up because I just started clicking on things.
Howdy and welcome to another edition of 5-Minute Whiteboard. Why do we even need zero-click marketing? Rand, Amanda, you guys are always talking about zero-click marketing. Why is this such a trend? Look, we're trying to help because we believe that zero-click marketing is the way things have to go, and we're not the first adopters of this. People have been doing this. Creators and influencers and brands have been doing this for a decade plus. We're kind of late to the game. We have to invest in zero-click marketing because the world has given us no choice. First off, Google is now answering almost 2/3 of all queries without a click. And our recent research with Datos showed us that many of the 40% that are left that do send traffic, those are for branded terms and navigational terms, meaning someone already knows where they want to go. If you're waiting to get traffic from Google, most of the time you've already lost. Google is going to answer that query, and if you play their game and give them content that they can put in the instant answer, the AI overview, right, that might influence people even if it doesn't draw the click. Second, the social networks where people are spending the majority of their time online and in apps. Nowadays, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Reddit, I don't care which one we're talking about, TikTok, they all have this effect of either completely removing links, right? So TikTok and Instagram, for example, no links allowed whatsoever. YouTube is kind of its own beast. I'll talk about that separately. But Threads, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, right, where a lot of people historically would go to post their content and draw traffic from the audiences that they built there, their followings, doesn't work. It's not working anymore. It's like a 10th or a 50th or a 100th of what it was 5, 10, 15 years ago. And that is because the algorithms of these systems are set up to disincentivize and punish content with links. When Elon bought Twitter, for example, he open sourced the ranking system, and you could see right in the code that there is a penalty for any post that includes a link. And this is true across all these networks. In our testing, we get about 10 times the reach, 10x, when we have zero-click content, meaning a post that contains no link versus one that does. I'd rather influence 10 times as many people than I would draw traffic from a small percentage. 3, publications, newsletters, podcasts, mainstream media, niche media, sources of industry influence in small sectors. I don't care which one we're talking about. Every single one of them is far more likely to say yes to a pitch that does not contain a request for a link. I think this is because over the last 25 years...
Okay, I'm going to pause it because I didn't want to play the whole thing. I just wanted to show it to you. I want to show you the article. And there's a transcript here. So he's doing a lot of things on his website that I love. Like he's doing video, he's writing articles. The titles are questions. So he's putting things out where he's answering questions. Like things are being answered about marketing, about data, about how do I get traffic, how do I get this, how I get this, and it's all around marketing. So he's doing the right thing. So there's a video there, and it's also, I want to show you, he had a link with an image. Yeah, it's there. So he put this on there also. It says, why has zero-click marketing become necessary? Because social networks throttle links Why? So we can't post links as frequently as before. The next one, over 60% of Google searches in without a click. That's the zero click marketing. Why? So you can't be as dependent on Google anyway. And then people are spending less time on Google search. We talked about that because, they're doing a lot of AI search. It says, so you need to influence your audience where they are. Then the next one, dark social hides referral traffic. So even if you do get traffic, you don't know where it's coming from. And the dark social means that the traffic is coming into your website, and say you have e-commerce or you selling whatever you're doing, appointments or what, you don't know where the traffic is coming from because you go to Google Analytics and it doesn't tell you where it's coming from where it used to. And the last one, Apple's cookie changes, anti-tracking and privacy laws, and ad blockers. So remember a few years ago, Apple said, hey, we're going to put our customers first. And anytime you install an app, you can block it so it doesn't track you and they can't use your data and ads and things. And, Apple users are great. But everybody else, the business owners, the people that runs ads is like, no, how am I going to know who to target? So then the other column, it says, so you're wasting precious marketing time on faulty attribution. That just means that you're spinning your wheels on things that aren't working anymore the way they used to work because Apple moved the needle. They moved the hockey puck and they're over there now. So it's like all of the things that we could track before with, especially with ads, you can't anymore because Apple has changed it. So I love that he put this thing together, and I wanted to show it to you because that was a little bit. So let me stop here. So does everybody get the zero click marketing? Like, it's to keep.
I'm interested in how to solve that because I think he so I'm going to go back and look at that article because if we are doing coaching, if we're doing anything, we need to make the shift now and not try and go back to, okay, so put a link here for you to, so people can follow, so people can do whatever, right?
Right.
And he's saying it's better to have a zero link strategy.
Right. You need a zero link strategy because that's what I was saying about Facebook doing what it's doing. Now it was on your page of, okay, we're going to shut down the links. We're going to shut down the sharing. We're going to shut down the information where you're taking people off our platform. And now it's like, okay, what do? We need to do different things. There are things we need to do differently, and we got to figure out how to do it. So that's a part of it. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about it and then explain it. So let me get back to my notes. So everybody knows that the zero click is basically Google, now Meta. They're like, okay, we're going to let you make content. We're going to let you reach your audience. We're going to let you guys have a conversation, but we're shutting it down as far as movement away from our platform because I've explained this several times. How do they make money? You got to stay on Facebook. You got to stay on Instagram to see the ads.
Right. So the people, I'm asking a question now. Mm-hmm. So the people who have ads, who have taken out ads, have a better shot because, these people pay for an ad. We will let them have a click.
Yes, because they pay. That's it right there. So basically the way it started, social media started, was everybody could share content and share links and all that. And now Meta is gathering up looking at data and looking at movement of users and saying, wait a minute, too many people are leaving. We need you guys to stay. So what's making people leave? Oh, you guys are posting links. We don't like that. We're going to let you post a link, but we're not going to give you any reach. And I remember years ago, that started happening with Facebook pages where people are like, how come my reach is zero? How come this? Because they want you to run an ad because you called yourself a business. You categorize yourself as a business. And Facebook went, oh, okay. You a business, you got money to run ads. You're not running ads, I'm going to reduce the reach of your posts. And again, I say, is that fair? I don't know. We don't own Facebook. We don't own Instagram.
Okay. So for however long Facebook has been out, it's been pretty much free, other
Yes.
than, the information that we're giving up. But so we really can't complain too much. We haven't been paying for anything.
That's it. See, the users, the business owners have gotten used to, hey, we could post for free. And I've just, in the last year or so, Gary Vaynerchuk has been saying in his videos, what are you guys waiting on? It's free. It's free. It's free. Because he knows it's coming to where they're going to put up a gate. There's going to be, oh, you want to see this Beyonce concert? It costs, how much the tickets cost? You're going to have to pay that price. If you want to see this content. And who started it? Well, it kind of, I don't know if it started with Snapchat, but remember Snapchat put their Snapchat Plus, and then everybody started doing their Plus. Well, I think LinkedIn was paid before all that, but they've seen how they can get more revenue. They meaning the company. Remember, I've already said these are not charities. Meta is a corporation that has shareholders. LinkedIn belongs to Microsoft, which is a corporation that has shareholders. What do shareholders want? A return on investment. I gave you money, I bought shares, I want to see some money. So that's what they're driving at. They're not here to go, oh, you guys can post for free. We're gonna share it and serve it to everybody. And now they're like, wait a minute. You guys are sending people from here to there to everywhere. We're going to stop that. We're not going to stop it by saying you can't post a link. And remember, Instagram started out that way. Instagram was always, you can't post a link in a post. There was only one place, and that was your profile. So Instagram started out that way. They're never going to let, people are like, well, I want to put a link in my caption. Not. You can put it there, but it's not active.
You can put a link in a story.
Right.
That disappears after 24 hours.
See? See? They know what they're doing. That was the call from beginning. Instagram, I want to put a link in my caption. And Instagram was like, that ain't happening. But we'll,
And you really cannot put a link in, even in Reels and stuff. You are not putting links anywhere.
It's just that platform not built for that. It's built to what? Keep people on Instagram. But now they're looking at Facebook saying we got a problem because everybody's used to links. And like I said, Gary was saying everything was free until it's not. And then there was a discussion remember when they started with the Meta Verified, and they got all these different tiers, and people were complaining, why do I have to pay? You don't have to pay. But see, they figured out this is how we get revenue. And it is a business. That's their job, to figure out how to get more revenue, 10x the revenue scale, because they have shareholders. Where does that leave us?
And for a while, I had Meta Verified.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I'm doing $14.90.
Was it worth it?
It was $14.95 a month for what? I'm not.
Did you get like a live rep? Like
no.
And
they keep calling me. They keep sending me stuff. Hey, become verified again and blah.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Because they want the revenue.
Same thing that YouTube always asks you to join premium, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Now there's a perk to premium.
Yes,
on
there's
YouTube.
a perk. Right.
It actually is, because having no ads. See, I'm seeing the benefit.
Yes, there's a benefit. YouTube. And remember, they had one premium price. Now they have two. Now they have a lower price because they were like, wait a minute, people don't want to pay that higher price, even though there's a good benefit. So now they have a lower tiered price for YouTube. But when you go over there, they're always saying, hey, here's a free month of premium. Hey, don't you want to join YouTube Music? Hey, don't you? There's always, I call it a nag. It's a little nag.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Maybe that I can't I didn't see the benefit in the Meta verified.
Yeah, there's no benefit.
I do see the benefit in the YouTube Premium.
Yes, because of the ads. You get the ad-free experience.
Very much so. And then LinkedIn keeps asking, do you want to bump up to premium? And I'm like, why? There's got to be a reason why.
There's some benefits to it. It's like it's for networking. It's you get to do things that are non-annoying to, like, if you want to connect to somebody at this company, there's some benefits to it, but it's very expensive. I think it's like $75 a month or $79.
Whatever it is, I was like, okay.
Most people don't pay it. Don't pay it. But see, Meta is going, well, okay, we had the Meta verified. They even increased the premiums tiers. They had 3 tiers based on the level of your business. And like you said, what's the benefit of it? But Meta makes most of its money from ads. They know that. But here's some icing with the subscription. Now, how do we get it in there? Well, there was talk of everybody who uses Facebook was going to pay a premium cost. They don't want to do, I'm telling you, they don't want to do that because that would drive people away. But they do want some kind of subscription in addition to the ads. And you could say, well, they're being greedy. Again, it's a corporation. They need to show returns. So how do you do it? Well, we make the ad system better. We get people to run ads. But hey, what's this subscription thing going on over here? Snapchat got their little thing going on. What is it, $3.99? It's growing. Snapchat just added another tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's the, well, I was going to say the Netflix effect, but because everybody, Disney Plus, there's tiers. And, before you used to have Amazon Prime. And when you had Amazon Prime, you weren't getting commercials. But now they're putting commercials in Amazon Prime telling you your show will start after these messages. I was like, wait a minute.
Ads
paying you.
Listen, they realize we cannot go ad free because that is revenue that's flying out the window. Ads bring in the money. Ads bring in the money. Really, they do. That's why Amazon was like, hey, ad free. Hulu, hey, ad free. And they were like, wait a minute. We crunched the numbers, and that's revenue that's flying out the window. So
now they will do the ads are very short, like 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get an ad.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that they're like, okay, you're gonna get an ad everywhere. You can watch over the air TV, you're gonna get an ad. Cable, you're gonna get an ad. Is there a watching experience or some kind of experience where there are no ads, like entertainment wise? I don't think so.
Speaking of ads, I have YouTube Premium.
Right.
You don't necessarily get ads, but they do suggest videos for you to watch. It's not.
And that's the YouTube way. YouTube will suggest things for you. They will.
And it's not commercial. Seriously, it's not an ad where it jumps in the middle of whatever you're watching. But you still got to swim through all of these recommendations for videos you might
I call those are the hurdles. They're trying to slow you down from leaving. Don't leave. This is how when you go to a website and you're like, okay, this is not where I want to be, and you move the mouse closer to the X, and here's that pop up because they don't want you to leave. They look at your tracking, they track your movements and go, okay, that person getting ready to leave because they're moving the mouse up. Oh, pop up. Here's a coupon. Here's a freebie. Those are the things that are going on. But what's happening with this zero click is that they realize that we're leaving and we can't leave.
This is the California hotel, people.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. You can check in, but you can't. They don't want you to check out.
You can check in anytime you like. You just can't leave.
I mean, so that explains a little bit of the why, like why all of this stopping in the comments. And again, I went to LinkedIn the other day and there was somebody wrote a whole discussion and they were like, I'm going to defy LinkedIn and I'm going to put a link in my post. Like I'm not gonna follow the convention of, oh, you must put the link in the comments or LinkedIn is gonna penalize you. He was like, I'm gonna write what I gotta say. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. He said, I'm putting the link right here. If LinkedIn, do your thing. I don't care. And so, but he got a lot of engagement from that post because everybody was like, okay, oh, you're gonna get in trouble. He's like, I don't care. So see, they're doing things too where it's okay. You got to stay here. We don't want you to go over there. But me, the business owner, I'm like, well, I'm here on social media to say what I have to say and say the right thing to the right person and catch your eye. And I want you to come to my party.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going, well, I don't, you might not be able to take these people to your party. And that's not a good thing. Not to say that social media is not, it's still viable. And I say that is because it's the marketplace of it. Everybody's here.
So you still have to get attention.
Yes. So where do you get attention from? From an
Where
empty
everybody's
theater?
hanging out.
From an empty mall? From an empty street corner?
You get attention from where everyone is hanging out.
And where are they? Social media.
They're on social media.
Pick your
So
corner. I
now,
don't care what corner.
so you have to be able to grab attention.
Yes.
And then fulfill whatever it is that you're supposed to fulfill after you get their attention.
And now you got to jump the hurdles of the platform because they're throwing hurdles, they're throwing snowballs. They're like, okay, you are taking people off my platform. I'm not happy with that. Here's a hurdle. Here's jump. We're gonna slow you down. Here's a speed bump. Because you can still go. You can put the link, but see what they're doing is, well, we're not gonna show that post. We're not gonna show it. So who's gonna click on your link if they can't see the post? So here's the conundrum. So now Facebook is doing some things with groups and pages, and we talked about LinkedIn and we talked about Instagram. So what do we do? What do we do with this zero-click stuff? Well, first of all, you got to have your own media, your website. You got to have your own place. And I was so glad I saw that email today because he already had his website where he was selling things, courses and stuff, but he had set up another community and he used it in the face. I remember I saw the post. He was like, oh, we're going, I'm just, building this other community. Come on over there. I got this for you and that for you. All you gotta do is click the link. And the link was to put your email address in. And then he sent you the link to the group. Now, if he had not done that, and his Facebook group has 500,000 people in it, and today you wake up and your Facebook group is not there. It's not there. They're saying it's gone. It's not there. Facebook turned the lights off and locked the door and hid the door. And this is a community where people were happy to go in. They were talking about AI prompts for images. They were talking about the new Google VO. They were talking about this and that, and people were asking questions. It was a very active group. And now those people are like, well, what do I do? Now, if you hadn't joined the other group, you would be lost. If you weren't on his email list, you are lost.
Right. And this is the reason why when you're setting up something, I see a lot of people when they set up a coaching program. Mm-hmm. So now make sure you join our Facebook group so you can stay up to date with whatever. Mm-hmm. Whereas you might want to rethink that and have them in a different.
Well, see, here's the thing. We could still do the group, but it's get them to, because it's easy to get them to the group. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they, and we've talked about the age cohorts, the grouping of people on Facebook is 45, 50 and up. They love it. They won't let it go. Just like the people that love X won't leave it. It's for some psychological thing that, okay, I'm on Facebook, I don't want to download another app, I don't want to go sign, I don't want to. So you could still do the Facebook group, but as soon as they get in there, go bam, I got another freebie, I got a this, I got a that. That's a little bit more than, oh, you got them in the Facebook group. And like he did, here's the link, click the link, it says, oh, enter your email address. You enter your, because you want this thing. You want to go where he's going. It's telling me to go. And it gives me the email, and the email sends me the link to his other community. So see, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to let go of Facebook for now. You want to go
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the people who send people over there to get updates or whatever. It's a private group or whatever.
Yeah. That's what he had. He had the same thing here. But what you do is you get, if they're in the group, because that's the easiest onboarding.
Okay.
Most people have a Facebook account, whether they're active or not, they have it. That's the key. Now, you do that, and then you go, okay, boom, soon as they're in, here's the post that says, go to, I got more stuff for you, but it's off on here.
So you redirecting traffic once they get in your Facebook group.
It's easier to get them on Facebook because it's Facebook. Tap, or they're there. Then you get them to the email. It's email isn't as easy as it used to be. Getting an address isn't as easy as it used to be. Even though a free ebook or free, it's still not as easy as I'm on Facebook. I go there to see a post, grandma, happy birthday, somebody's anniversary, somebody's family reunion, somebody made a funny meme. The reasons are endless. Once they're there, your little thing pops up about the Facebook group. Oh yeah, I remember I joined that, and you tap it and you're in there. And then you have to say the right things to get them to want the thing. They tap on that. It's a link. Email, name it email, nothing else.
Right.
Nothing else, because they won't fill out. People are asking for phone numbers and addresses, and why? I don't want to do that. I don't even want to do name and email. Most people don't want to do that, but you do it because you're going to, it's onboarding from Facebook to email to your thing, circle, school, teachable. I don't care what it is. That's your doorway. See, you can't ask for too much in the beginning, because they're not going to give it to you. They're not going to do it. Okay. All right. So, I was looking at the chat thing. That was me that put the link there. I was like, oh, there's a chat. So are we getting the zero click? Because we're gonna talk more about it. But let me give you some more insights, because we have to figure out. And that was one of the things that I was saying about, we're not giving up on Facebook. I've never, anybody I talk to always say, please do Facebook. Why? Because it's almost 3 billion people there. Your people are there, whether they're active or inactive. They have a Facebook account. And don't go by the people that, oh, I'm deleting my. They said that in 2016. They said that last year. They're not deleting their Facebook. They just won't go to it. But if you give them a reason, they go to it. All right. So let me get back to my notes here. Let me get back to what we were talking about. So a lot of what he said was, Google answers most queries without sending traffic. Social media platforms deprioritize posts with links. We just talked about that. He was saying publications are more likely to accept pictures and don't ask for links, because links are this thing that we can't deal with it, because the reach is going to be dialed down. Traffic is not the same as conversion, influence, or impact. Zero-click content gets far more reach and visibility than linked content. And so a lot of this depends on influence, not clicks. Even though people still click, it's just that the platforms are reducing the impact. of your content if you put a link in there. And that's why, getting back to Instagram, a lot of people do the DM me the word whatever, because that's a way to get a connection in the direct message, and then you give them the link there. Because see, Instagram doesn't penalize that. So a lot of people going, okay, instead of doing something or the link or go link in bio, you say DM me the word
and
grow.
then so they know what e-product that you want, and then when you do that, they reply back with the link to that thing that you asked for.
It's an automatic they use the Manny chat. It's an automatic setup. When you set up the account, it's automation. But
yes.
but if you don't have a lot of followers, you don't need the automation. You could still do DM me the word grow. It's just that, you look at your app, and whenever it pops up with somebody making a comment, you can paste. Here's the link, paste and send.
Mm-hmm.
But people use the Manny chat because they, those people, if you got 10,000 and up followers and everybody's asking, you don't want to keep doing that.
Right. Not by hand.
Right. You don't want to, if you've got a small following, you could do it by hand if you don't want to pay the Manny chat. But it is automatic where you don't have to, if you're not on top of your notifications on Instagram, you might want to pay for the service. Yeah, you might want to do that. Even though you could say, well, I don't have 100,000 followers. It's not about that. It's about the automation of it. Okay. All right. So let's look at a couple of things that Jessica said that we need to look at. So number one, accept the new landscape. Recognize that traditional traffic-based strategies are declining in effectiveness, and we talked about this. I think last week we talked about this. All of this, the AI first world, all of the stuff that we've been talking about is about acceptance. I talk about Instagram and how everybody keeps complaining to the CEO every time he makes a post. They're like, we want chronological. And like, you're not accepting the fact that is not the focus. It's interest-based. And it is not that anymore. It is not show my post to everybody that follows me, because it's not based on following anymore. So everything is AI run. So AI doesn't care about your followers. It cares about, are you talking about something that's relevant to a group of people that want to hear it? Now, if you're not, then you're not going to get any exposure. And again, that's fixable too. You might want to think about another approach. Okay, so it says number 2, create native content, publish complete high-value content directly on the platform. I've seen a lot of people do that, especially with LinkedIn. There's the newsletters. A couple people I followed that they have blogs. Mark Schaefer's one. He has a blog called businessesgrow.com. He puts out his newsletter post there as a blog post, and then the next day he shares it on LinkedIn. The full thing on his newsletter on LinkedIn with the link to the blog. And then I think he has a Substack, then he might do this. It's a layered approach.
Right.
And then there's a thing where people go, oh, doesn't Google penalize you? No, because you start out with your own media, which is your website, your blog. Once you do that, you're establishing to Google that this content is owned by me, and this is where I posted it first on, say, today.
Right.
Now, tomorrow I will go to LinkedIn, post the whole thing with the links to where, to the blog, to the wherever I want them to go in the newsletter, not the post, in the newsletter. People will read that because they've signed up. You get a notification. I get it all the time. Oh, so-and-so newsletter. Oh, so-and-so. And I go and read it. Same thing with Substack. You can, the same content. You don't have to, people are under this assumption, well, I got to write something different for Substack. I got to write something different for LinkedIn. I mean, newsletters, not social media posts, the whole newsletter. No, right. You do a blog post. You do a blog article. Put it on your blog first. That establishes you as the owner. With Google, you're good. Google says if you put it on something you own, you're good. you can post it other places, the whole thing, because we see that you started here on your website.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing about Google penalizing you for double, I think it was double content or duplicate content, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. So you can go to Medium. So if you have Medium, go there. Or if you have your Facebook group, you can, once you make it, establish it on your website, you can take it other places. So that's what you want to do. Says number 3, avoid outbound links. Minimize or eliminate links in your content to avoid algorithm suppression. So they're saying pitch without links. When reaching out to media or podcasts, give the value without links. So this gets you on this gets you to be a podcast guest without the part of the linking, because the podcast people already know about the links and everything. So they're like, okay, well, we got to start thinking about without links. Number 5, use brand and context association. Focus on keywords and content clusters that LLMs, that's the large language media, that's how ChatGPT and all of those function. LLMs can associate with your brand. Now, this gets back into branding to where you are focusing on your brand voice, your brand value, what you bring, versus a link. See, you're talking about what you need to talk about. And a good example is I forgot his name, the guy that owns the Spark Toro that we just saw. I think his name is Rand. He has been talking about this for a long time. First with Maz, and now with his own company. But it's always the same the same interest. He's always talked about this. It's always been about traffic and dominance and your domains and SEO and marketing. He's tied all of that together all the time. So for his branding, it doesn't matter if he's with Maz or with Spark Toro, because he told us when he left Maz, he explained why, all on his blog. So if you were following him on the old company and you kept up with it because it was interest based, to me it was interest based. So I knew what happened. So I know that he has a new company. See? He's established brand dominance by talking about something that he has knowledge of. So this goes back to when I was saying about the other people, some of the older people that was complaining about the copywriter guy who's copywriting 40 years, but he's making sandwiches now. He's upset because he can't get a job on LinkedIn. I'm like, sir, you're wasting time. You're wasting time. Get to stepping. get to talking about copywriting. Who doesn't need copywriting?
Teach us how to do it well.
Teach, critique, give do's and don'ts, best practices, best pointers. And guess what? That's evergreen content, because people are always coming online with a blog, with a this, with a that. Everybody. And I don't care what age you are. The young ones are going to need it. They're going to need it. Right? Who doesn't need copywriting best practices, tips, and tricks?
Seriously, even though I'm a writer and I'm still needing to know.
To refresh your tips, your like we said, spring cleaning, summer cleaning, fall. You gotta, what's going on now? Am I up to date with the latest and the greatest in copywriting? What's trending? What's new? Those things you talk about. Sir, you have knowledge. 40 years. And hello, I don't even know what to say anymore about this. The last one I saw we talked about was the man that was complaining that his wife lost his job as a graphic artist because of AI. Oh, this AI. Well, ma'am, you should have been learning how to take your skill and create something with AI that I can't create. Because see, here's the deal. Everybody has a tool called AI that they can use to make anything they want, even these videos that are driving people crazy. But can you make quality stuff? Can you make something exactly the way you want it? You can if you put in thousands of hours. Who has that time? The person who's a graphic artist knows how to get what you want. They just now, instead of a brush, instead of Photoshop, instead of Illustrator with a pen and a drawing tablet, they now must use AI. How do I get AI to do exactly what's in my head? She needs to learn that.
And it's easier now.
Yeah. You just
Seriously,
have to learn the new tools.
I do graphic design, but I'm not doing it to the capability she probably has. And but I talked to it because I needed a Father's Day card. And I was like, okay, I know what I wanted to see.
Right.
And I just said, give me this on the ocean, with a boat on the ocean, with the sun reflecting off the water. And
it's called composition. It's called in art, it's called composition. A lot of people can't do that. She can do it. But she's relying on, I did it in Photoshop, I did it in Illustrator, I don't have a job, boo-hoo. No, ma'am. Get over there to AI, to the VO, to the this, to the that, and figure out how to do it. Because that is what is needed.
Because I don't see the shadows on how to draw the boat myself. Do you understand? I'm not making and okay, how do you do that? And how do you blend this and make, because I have, what is that, Procreate?
Yes.
Procreate doesn't even know. I would have to learn basic art skills.
But see, that's it. She learned the basic of the drawing of the face of the this and that. So you know how to draw what you need out of it. Versus us as business owners can make a Rembrandt, but it's not going to be a Rembrandt. It's going to be stick figures. Only the artist knows how. Well, I know what you want. And see, a business owner, their thing is time. I cannot spend 1,000 hours trying to get one graphic, whereas she knows. Tell me what you want. Oh, that's what you want. Now she has to learn how to do it text-based.
Right, because I could go to her and say, I have an idea for a robot to walk on water and make coffee. Can you please make that happen?
See, you have an image in your mind already, but see, you're not going to get there with AI because it's rudimentary. Is that the word? That is, you're going to draw a stick figure because you're not an artist, not a disc. I draw stick figures. I'm not an artist like that. But there are people that watercolors, charcoal. They can, when you go to places and there's the artist sitting there and you're walking down the street and they want to draw you a picture for whatever, and you sit down for a few minutes and they start sketching. That's a skill.
That is a skill that I definitely do not have.
But it doesn't die. It's instead of the paper and the charcoal, it's text. Oh my goodness. So, people sitting around, wait, you're wasting time. Get to learning.
Wouldn't it be interesting now that, in San Francisco, that happened when you walk down down Fisherman's Wharf, instead of the guy having the chalk and the paper, he has his iPad. And then he does a little, he talks to the AI on a thing and then texts and then airdrops you your image based on what you asked for.
Boom. That's how it's supposed to work. But we're stuck in this process of doing it. Okay, remember with butter. If you want butter, what do? I go to the store. Years ago, how did they make butter?
You had to go milk the cow.
You had to milk the cow.
Then get the milk, put it in the churn, and churn that butter until you.
Yes. So do you want to do that today? I'm not doing that. I'm going and better yet, I don't have to go to the store. I can go to Amazon and I need some butter. It'll be here later today. Mm-hmm. I'm not making butter. I'm not making cheese. Yogurt. People want to make yogurt in their Instant Pot. Do you, boo? I'm buying it already made.
Look, the people back in the day that had to churn it and go get the thing, they probably looking like, I wish we'd have had
Wine.
that. I wish we'd have had that when we was back in the day.
The I Love Lucy, what she was in there stomping grapes. Why was she stomping grapes? Why? Wine. Come on. So just because you can do the old way, listen, things are, what I'm trying to say is things are speeding up so fast to where AI tools are coming out a mile a minute. There are these, I'm looking at AI agents, AI bots. There are all these programs that let you make these layered assistants to do multiple things. It's crazy what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sitting back mad, calling it, you can call it AI slop, AI this, I don't care. I see that all the time on LinkedIn. Oh, but it's AI slop. You're such a snob. You're such a, come on. Why are you being like that? It's going to get to the point, it's called mass adoption. We are early adopters. It's called mass adoption. Once everybody starts doing it, it won't be AI slop.
Mm-mm.
You can see it with video, text to video. Telling me that's why everybody was losing their minds a few weeks ago when Google came out with the VIA.
Literally.
I mean, oh my God, people were, it was war of the worlds.
No.
What do we do? And I said, well, I said this 2 years ago, this is gonna happen. I seen it coming. It's because this is the nature of technology. It gets better, faster, smarter because it learns quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. It's, I always thought about how do we get to the holodeck? Remember on Star Trek? How do we, I mean, technology wise, how do we get that? Well, we're getting there.
Right. Walk into the holodeck and you can literally now talk to AI and get your coffee. I'm driving by Best Buy and something popped up and said, "Oh, there's a special on da 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 da." And I didn't ask y'all for nothing. Or
it's going to make worlds that you want. It's experiences. It's going to, you want to go to Paris, you don't have to get on a plane and do this. It's going to come to you in your house. That's the holodeck. It's going to come. It's coming.
You will feel like you are literally in there. You won't need to put on the VR headsets. You will be walking into a room and just,
Beyonce's on tour, Kendrick Lamar's on tour. You can't go to the tickets, or you can't get you can't. You're going to be able to do that in your house, and it's going to be like she's here and you're here. He's there. It's going to be like you could literally reach out and touch. That's how it's going to be, and it's going to be in your home. That's where we're going. So to sit down now and be mad, I understand being upset, but the tools are there. They're even free
for now.
There's even, who's that, the country which they gave their citizens Chat GPT Plus for free. They have the paid version just for being a citizen.
Because they are expecting people to use it to benefit the country.
It's going to improve their society. Mm-hmm. And the people that say AI is going to destroy society, it's going to destroy the society we have now. Just like when the cars came, we talk about this a lot. When the automobile came and the horse and buggy people lost their minds because it destroyed their world, and it did. So TV came along, destroyed the radio people. Those are the things that happen. All right, so let's get back to the zero click, because I think it's important to talk about this because you're spending time, wasting time on the madness of it. Yes, be mad for a few minutes and say, well, let me crack open. You don't even need a laptop. Let me get my phone and start talking to AI. Let me fiddle with it and see how I can get what I need out of it, because you can. All right, so the last one was measure impact differently. Let me turn this way because it says measure impact differently. Track engagement, conversions, and brand recognition. Brand recognition, not just traffic. So then now we're talking about branding. And people always, well, I don't need a brand. Well, You do. You're coming on, talking as yourself, being yourself, talking about what you know. That is branding. That's it. That's it. It's not a big, well, I gotta have, the logo, I gotta have a designer make me a card or a logo. AI can do, AI makes logos. You don't need to pay anybody. You can go to free Copilot. You can go to Google and Gemini. Matter of fact, I was in the AI group before it shut down, and somebody was saying, "Oh, the images that Gemini can make, it was so realistic." And I said, "No, that is not Gemini." And I went over to Gemini and started playing with it, and then it stopped me because it was the free one. It said, "Okay, you run out of credits for the day." I was like, "Okay," but I was having fun with that thing because it was making realistic imagery. Realistic. I mean, none of that shiny. Some of them they make you could see, look, they look like oil paintings. They look shiny and they look artificial. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, remember when Google was behind in all this AI stuff?
Not anymore.
When they should have been in the lead.
They should have been in the lead, but hey, not anymore.
Not anymore. It was called BART at that time, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it, but this Gemini, I'm loving it.
Gemini is like, okay.
And then Gemini, because Google gave the students a year free, the pro one. So my daughter has it, so I was like, "Can I log in? Can I log into your?" She was like, "Sure," because she wasn't using it. She doesn't like AI images. I love it. So I was like, "Hey, I'm in here," and I think it said you could make like 150 something, and I was going to town with it. I was like, "Okay." But see, that's the thing. You have to get in and play. We have to get out of the attitude that this is going to be stopped. It's going to destroy the world. It's going to destroy the world we're in now. But the Industrial Revolution did that. It destroyed the world before it.
Right. We are not, like we keep talking about, we're not dragging the water out the river, bringing it up, pouring it in,
Listen.
Just lighting the fire under it so we can cook the potatoes. No, look.
Come on. I mean, really. So, just we're going to talk more about the zero click marketing, but it's just something to keep in mind. And I say we're going to keep talking about it because I'm going to go to LinkedIn, and one of the people that I follow that talk about this, that talk about SEO and all this other stuff, there is really a lot of chatter going on in that industry. People are really talking about things, and there's a back and forth of people saying, "Oh, just do same old SEO," and then these people saying, "No, you have to do different things." So this guy I'm following, Spark Toro, he's pretty knowledgeable because I've been following for a long time.
And you get it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, he does he's always done a 5-minute he used to do a whiteboard Wednesday or a whiteboard Friday. It was every Friday, and it's 5 minutes, and he, like, you saw the whiteboard, so he would write on it and then say what he had to say, 5 minutes, and then put the blog post up, and there you go. So but the conversation happens on LinkedIn with him, like he's there, and other people. So see, that's what's happening. So I look at what he's doing. I look at what Gary's doing. Remember, we talked about Gary Vaynerchuk having the what he had, the deck, the presentation 40 thing. It's free.
Day trading attention, absolutely free. And he was telling you what is coming, or actually showing you what has happened and how you need to follow the trend and look, keep up.
Yeah, keep up. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. If you're confused about something, ask me. I have no problem answering. I love doing that. That was my job for years. I had to have the answer. So I will have, if I don't have the answer, I'll say, "Hey, I don't have the answer." One time I was told that at work, "Well, you got to get the answer." Well, I went and got the answer. So I have to get the answer. That's my thing. So this is a change in marketing and social media and business and website. It's going all across all industries, and we're going to keep up with it. We're not going to, go underwater. We're going to keep our head above water. We're going to try that. So if you stick here, come back here. We're going to be talking about it, and let me know your questions, because these are the things that I'm seeing, because I feel like this is okay. This is something that's happening. We might need to know about it, but you let me know what's going on with you and your business.
Okay, and I got that spelled right. Correct. Terry Johnson online.com/info.
Yes, that'll be the link. There'll always be something there. There's something there now, but I'm going to change it. But that'll be the spot to where, okay, I need to ask a question or get more information. That'll be it. And also your favorite social media platform, wherever you are. You know, DM, comment, whatever. I'm going to see it.
She's Terry Johnson online everywhere. And so we want to thank you for tuning in. And we also want to make you let you know you become a part of the Bizchicks community. You can text Biz to 33777, or you can simply go to bizchicks.net. Woo, learning new tools. I was like, where's the button? Right. Yeah, so join in, follow TJ. She'll be here every Tuesday to bring us some more. And you can come here in a safe spot, be able to sit down and learn some things, because there's some things I need to go back over the link that she put in the chat. And because I heard something, instead of start doing everything like you've been doing it for the last few years, a switch has been made. So be sure to come on back here next Tuesday for some more. And then also on Friday for Tech Life Weekly, where we do a wrap up of what's happening in social media and digital marketing and tech. So we want to say thank you for tuning in. Coach Karen is coming up tomorrow with Profits in Daily. But until next time, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to let Brittany take it away. Remember, we're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. We trust you've learned something to help you build a more profitable business and take the hassle out of your hustle. See you next time.